Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. We'll chant Om once together. Synchronize the chanting of Om with your exhalation. Breathe in. Sahana vavatu, sahanau bhunattu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Gently open your eyes. We'll chant from verses 1 to 5 of chapter 3. Arjuna Uvacha.
Arjuna Uvacha.
Jayasi chet karmanaste.
Jayasi chet karmanaste.
Mata buddhir janardana.
Mata buddhir janardana.
Tat kim karmani ghore mam.
Tat kim karmani ghore mam.
Niyojayasi keshava.
Niyojayasi keshava.
Vyamishreneva vakyena.
Vyamishreneva vakyena.
Buddhim mohayasiva me.
Buddhim mohayasiva me.
Tadekam vada nishchitya.
Tadekam vada nishchitya.
Yena shreyohamapnuyam.
Yena shreyohamapnuyam.
Shri Bhagavanuvacha.
Shri Bhagavanuvacha.
Lokesmin dvividha nishtha.
Lokesmin dvividha nishtha.
Pura prokta maya nagha.
Pura prokta maya nagha.
Jnana yogena sankhyanam.
Jnana yogena sankhyanam.
Karma yogena yoginam.
Karma yogena yoginam.
Na karmanam anarambhat.
Na karmanam anarambhat.
Naishkarmyam purushoshnute.
नैष्कर्म्यं पुरुषोऽश्नुते
न च संन्यसनादेव
न च संन्यसनादेव
सिद्धिं समधिगच्छति
सिद्धिं समधिगच्छति
न हि कश्चित् क्षणमपि
न हि कश्चित् क्षणमपि
जातु तिष्ठत्यकर्मकृत्
जातु तिष्ठत्यकर्मकृत्
कार्यते ह्यवशः कर्म
कार्यते ह्यवशः कर्म
सर्वः प्रकृतिजैर्गुणैः
सर्वः प्रकृतिजैर्गुणैः
Hari Om, and a very good day to all of you. So in the last session, I gave you a very powerful and deep dimension of sannyas, and that was sannyas is nothing but growth. The reason why that dimension was given here is because the general concept of sannyas and even the entire spirituality itself is that of a negative one, always giving up, not enjoying things, not leading a normal life. These are the concepts of spirituality which everyone is having. That is, whatever is normally accepted or which naturally comes to you, now you need to cut that and do something artificial. You need to cut the natural flow and mold yourself into someone whom you are not. This is the wrong concept, the wrong perception which people are having about spirituality. People always think that spirituality is against life. They just read a few aspects of this wisdom, like what happens after death, a few things like that here and there, and that wisdom is also not complete, I would say. But they just pick up a few things here and there out of context, and then they formulate a picture of what is spirituality within their minds without any logic. So what you need to understand is that spirituality is not divorced from life. Actually, every aspect of life is covered in spirituality. I'll tell you why. When we talk of the different aspects of life, we are talking of the external aspects here. But who is that person who is going to experience all that? It is you. Now, spirituality primarily focuses on reconditioning this you, that is this personality. The moment you recondition yourself, now you are going to experience your life, you're going to experience the various aspects in the world. Naturally, you will succeed there. the quality of your experiences will start increasing. So since so many people have misunderstood this concept, because they come across some phrases like your ultimate goal is self-realization or God realization, you have to leave everything. Now, without taking the context into consideration, they just misunderstand the wisdom. See, remember, whenever you want to understand any principle, especially with respect to this ancient wisdom, you should always see the context. A spiritual master will say different things at different times, even to the same person. See, one is, to different people he will say different things, because each one is different. Their experiences are unique. So to a person who is very shy, he would say, you go out and mingle with people. To a person who is highly extrovert and who doesn't have any depth, he will say, now stop mingling too much with people and spend some time alone, reflect. Depending upon the context, he will say different things, sometimes diametrically opposite things also. To a person who is lazy, he will say you need to act. To a person who is already very active, overactive to the point of fault, he would say you need to relax. So you will find that the ancient wisdom deals with the fundamental principles, but the application of those principles will vary according to each person, that person's unique experiences. And not only that, even if this wisdom is given to one person, let us say, depending upon the context, the application will again vary. Because the same person also goes through different stages in life. Actually, that is where Arjuna is getting confused. Because sometimes Krishna is focusing on knowledge and he says, gain knowledge. Sometimes he is focusing on action and he says, you have to act. Sometimes he focuses on devotion. Sometimes he focuses on meditation. They look so contradictory to Arjuna, because he is not understanding the context. Everything is said in the backdrop of a particular context. Remember this. You can't have a standard rule in all situations and for everyone. A standard set of rules and regulations. It's like, having one t-shirt, one size, and then now everybody should fit into that. How is that possible? It has to be customized. So, what you need to do is, as a sadhak, as we are coming across these various applications, you should take those points and then put in that effort to go back to the principles, the root principles. So Arjuna here doesn't want to act. Therefore, Krishna is stressing on action. He wants to shirk his responsibilities and duties, Arjuna. So Krishna is emphasizing on action. He is playing down sannyas. But later on in another context, when he is explaining the higher aspects, there he says sannyas is the way, renunciation is the way. But the question is, what do you need to renounce? It is your ego, it is your negativities within. So all that also he will say. So in the yogic approach, what we do is, we don't get caught up with a mere application. We always use the application to go back to the root principle. Because once you master the basic principles, then you can apply it in thousands of cases in different ways, but you will never get confused. Is God with form, or does God does not have a form? Now, the same master, at one point he may say God has a form. At another point he may say no, God is formless. It all depends on the context, the psychology of the person who is listening. So many factors have to be taken into consideration. So here, this is one application. When he says, nor by renunciation does one obtain perfection. Nacha sanyasanateva siddhim samadhigacchati. So using this application, now we are applying the yogic approach here and going to the root principles. This is very important at this stage, because in the coming verses, he will be building on this. He will be talking about the necessity of action, the logic, why you should not give up activity, why you should not shirk your duties. And then he'll be making various emotional appeals. What are the benefits you get? So many things are going to come. But for all that, the base concepts should be very clear. So for some reason, in most of the people, it has been impressed in the deeper minds that spirituality is against life. So that is, see, when you're already conditioned like that and suddenly you come across a word like sannyas or giving up, now you will naturally interpret it in the wrong way. It is all a coloring only, coloring of the person's mind. If you wear red color glasses and see, everything will look red. If you change the color of the glasses to green, now everything will look green. Similarly, your mind is also colored, conditioned by various preconceived notions, which you would have picked up here and there without your knowledge right from young age. Then not to talk about previous births and all that, we are not even getting into that. But so many things have been loaded, that is without filtering, without any original thinking, without any analysis. So many concepts have been accepted by you. And you have strong belief systems without any basis. So according to your concept of what spirituality is, you also conceive who is a spiritual person. You have a conception about a spiritual person. Now that has to be imperfect, because that very conception is coming from one's personal belief systems, not from truths. So here, Krishna is trying to smash all your belief systems so that you become completely open. It is only an open mind which can inquire and discover the truth. A closed mind lacks the capacity to inquire because you already concluded. That is why I always say that being spiritual doesn't mean you believe in God or do not believe in God. All these things are not relevant here. Because both are beliefs only. If you say, I believe in God, now you're not yet experienced. If you use that to proceed in this path, that is okay. But otherwise, just because you believe in something doesn't now make you spiritual, doesn't now create a transformation within you. Similarly, when you say, I don't believe in God, there also it's just the other side of the same coin only. So in both the cases, the enquiry is missing. A spiritual person is one who enquires with an open mind and discovers the truth. So whenever Krishna is saying that this is not it, that is not it, various things, he's talking about the wrong beliefs which people are having, and he's trying to smash them and correct them. Because when your board is full, you cannot write anything. You need to wipe and make the board into a clear slate. Only then good things can be written. So a master always does that. On one hand, he goes on cleaning up the board. What is the board full of? When we say your mind, your preconceived notions and beliefs. So on one hand, he will keep removing them. On the other hand, he will be writing the eternal truths in the deeper aspects of your mind. That is this yogic approach. So when it comes to sannyas or renunciation, there is maximum misunderstanding. They talked about the inner state, and people have misunderstood that to mean the external lifestyle. So that is why that dimension where when it was given to you, sannyas is growth, that will help you to understand this in a much more deeper way. So that example was given to you. A child is there and then the child becomes an adult. So with respect to childhood, now as an adult, you're detached. So that statement, that state is called sannyas. This is only a relative example. You cannot stretch that example beyond its limits, So as long as a child is a child, anything which he or she does will not make him or her an adult. Remember that. So one child may say, I want this toy. Another child may say, oh, I don't want this toy. Just because a child says, I don't want that particular toy, now has the child become an adult? No. So one spiritual child may say, I want wealth. Another spiritual child may say, I don't want wealth. Both are at the same level only. From the higher standpoint, these great masters look at all of us as children, spiritual children. Once you become an adult, will you call all the children and say, listen, I have some news to tell you. I have become an adult now. I am better off than you. Are you going to say all that? If you say all that, then you need to consult a psychiatrist. There is nothing to prove. Actually, as an adult, when you go and interact with children, you will put on an act as if you are a child and you will play with them. There is nothing to impress. Many people, in the name of spirituality, especially these principles of sannyas and all that, they say, I don't have any desire, I am not interested in wealth, I am not interested in this. The deeper desire is actually to impress others. Wherever there is a show of spirituality, remember, there is actually no spirituality. A person who wants to impress others is at the same level as the others. A person who competes with others is at the same level. A person who has outgrown all this and who has moved up, who has grown into a different dimension, he will have no necessity to prove anything to anyone. What does it matter to him whether a person calls him spiritual or calls him worldly? All these things are irrelevant. There is no value at all for all these things. That is why they say a true sannyasi is one who is very peaceful, who is very happy. We did that infinite happiness empowerment program, no? Now, so many dimensions have been given there. Empowerment, direct empowerment was given, about 50 aspects we saw. Now, when you start absorbing all that, all the seeds have been put, they will start manifesting in your life as time goes by. Now, as that happens, you will become genuinely happy. That is also a very important aspect of sannyas. A person who is caught up with attachment and aversion can never be happy. A person who is detached will be very happy. This is the law. So, you're having a complete negative picture of sannyas, and now what Krishna is trying to do, actually from this point onwards, this is what he'll be doing, is he is smashing all that and he is telling you how positive this state of sannyas is. That's why I started off by saying spirituality is not against life. See, spirituality is about enriching your life experiences, not to take you away from your experiences. A guru will never try to take you away from your life. No. He will only help you to live your life in a better way. That is only a true guru. If a guru says, leave everything and you start following me, wherever I go you come, then that person cannot be a true guru, because you have your life. He will say, you stay wherever you are, you live your life fully, but practice these principles wherever you are and whatever experiences you are going through. Now, practice these principles. That is what the Bhagavad Gita is all about. It is not about leading a particular lifestyle. It is about practicing the higher principles in your life. The lifestyle will vary according to culture and various other factors. So sannyas, true sannyas means growth. It means maturity. Moving from the state of childhood to adulthood. So as a child, one child may wear a red colored dress, another child may wear some other color dress. Now, does that make the child an adult? You carefully analyze. See, that example is given for you to reflect, One child says, I want this toy. Another child says, I don't want this toy. Both are children only. So, it is a complete growth. Now, when we talk of renunciation, he says, not by renunciation does one obtain perfection. So, he is talking of false renunciation. Why is he talking about false renunciation? When people try to imbibe this principle of sannyas, there is always a chance of applying this principle in a wrong way that can get you actually into problems. Much later, in the 18th chapter, he gives 3 types of renunciation. There he uses the word tyaga. Actually, Arjuna asks this question, what is the difference between tyaga and sannyas? Tyaga also means giving up. Sannyas also means giving up. When we come there, I'll explain that in detail, the difference between tyaga and sannyas, but both are interrelated only. As of now, you can take it like that. Tyaga is more of a practice, whereas sannyas is when you get established in that state. It is more of a state. Now, he divides the tyaga into 3 types. Sattvic renunciation, rajasic renunciation and tamasic renunciation. It's very useful to have at least a general idea of that. The in-depth wisdom will be given when that particular context comes. But in this context, what you need to understand is, when you give up something for wrong reasons, that is called false renunciation. That will not help you to grow spiritually. That will not give you perfection. There in the 18th chapter, he gives such examples. He says, what is tamasic renunciation? When you don't know the value of something and you give it up, he says that is tamasic renunciation. That is, when you give up something based on ignorance. Supposing someone were to come and give you a piece of paper. Now you see that something is written there, and now you find it very irrelevant, and you just throw it in the bin and you go away. Now later on that person comes and says, you know, the paper which I gave you, it is a check which I have written for you for 10 million. I am gifting that to you. Just for argument's sake, let's say you don't know what a check is and all that. Then you ask, what is a check? You say 10 million rupees has been given to you. Now you will run back. The same person who threw it in the bin will run back and you'll jump into the bin to get hold of the check. So now earlier, when that person threw the check into the dustbin, let us say his neighbor was watching, he'll say, oh, what a great sannyasi he is. 10 million rupees worth of thing he has thrown away. He's thrown it away. But that is actually not true renunciation. That renunciation was done out of ignorance. So many a times we tend to give up things because we don't know what it can offer to us. That is called tamasic renunciation. So when you see the value, you will again pick it up. That is why our masters say, don't give up life without living your life fully, without completing it fully. Because only when you live your life fully, as you start living your life in totality, you will know what life has to offer. Oh, this is what life can give me. This is what money can give me. This is what name and fame can give me. It temporary happiness, temporary things it can give me. But then what is beyond all this? What can give me permanent happiness? The mumukshatva will get intensified. But if you don't experience things and if you don't complete your experiences, your renunciation will be tamasic. It is more out of ignorance you will say, I am giving up. But the seeds are still there. So they will become obstacles. They will not allow you to evolve spiritually. I am only giving you a brief of those 3 verses, a brief gist, I am giving you. because those verses are, again, just like this verse is very powerful. When we come there, we'll get into that in a deeper way. Now, what is Rajasic renunciation? He says, whenever you give up something because of some bodily trouble or mental agony, mental stress and all that, then that is called Rajasic renunciation. You want to achieve something for which you need to go through several steps. You need to do many things. Now, you don't want to put that effort. Let us say you want to become slim and fit, Now, many things, you need to do proper exercises, you need to eat the right type of food, all those things are there. But now, in order to do exercises, now you will have to get up in the morning and put in some effort. It's going to cause a certain amount of bodily trouble, bodily pain. Now you don't want to go through all that pain. Therefore you say, I'm not interested in becoming fit and all that. I accept myself as I am. You will suddenly bring in some other philosophy from the ancient wisdom and you will say, I accept myself with all my negativities. Now here, when you say I'm giving up something, it is because of this bodily trouble. If that is taken off, you will want it. If there is a method by which I can achieve that goal without going through this bodily trouble, I'll readily take it up. So that is not true renunciation. Sometimes people give up things because of mental agony. I have heard this many times, especially in the Indian families. Sometimes there's so much of fight in the family. I know one man, whenever he has a quarrel with his wife, he says, "Po, na sannyas ettukuren po." Means go. I'll take up sannyas. I'll go to the Himalayas. He says. Now, if you carefully think about it, does he really mean it? No. It is because he is going through so much of mental agony that he says, I am giving up. So, Krishna calls it as Rajasic renunciation. There is also another term called Smashana Vairagya. Smashana Vairagya means funeral detachment. Funeral detachment means a person, a near and dear one has passed away. At that moment, you will feel like giving up everything. The whole life is worthless. That is called Smashana Vairagya. Smashana means the place where the body is being cremated. Now, they called it as Smashana Vairagya. After a while, all that renunciation will go away. Once the memory of the experience fades away, it goes into the deeper mind and you forget about it. Then all that Vairagya or the detachment will go away. So all this is Rajasic renunciation. But then when it comes to Sattvic renunciation, what is very interesting is, he doesn't talk about giving up. He says one who does his obligatory duties. Whatever duties you have in life, if you do them properly, he says that is Sattvic renunciation. But he qualifies it, but without ego, without the various negative factors. He brings all that. Without attachment, without being result oriented. So many factors he brings in. So it's a very interesting the way of putting it. When it comes to false renunciation, he talks of giving up. When it comes to true renunciation, he talks of doing action, performing your duties. And then he talks about what all you need to give up, the various negative factors within you. So that principle will be very useful for you as we go further in this verse, in this chapter of Karma Yoga. So false renunciation by false renunciation, one does not obtain perfection. You can put it that way. What is false renunciation? Tamasic renunciation and Rajasic renunciation are false types of renunciation. So first of all, a person who is a true sannyasi will not say that he is a sannyasi. A person who has true wisdom will not go about saying, I have wisdom, please come, please come. He will just be very simple. The kind of energy which he radiates will attract people. So, on one hand he says, nor by renunciation, and then on the other hand he uses the word siddhim. So, siddhi is a word which is used to mean perfection. But I'll give you the various dimensions. Actually, siddhi is a beautiful word. It smashes all the wrong concepts which a person may be having about spirituality and sannyas. He places siddhi as a goal. So what is this siddhi? Different aspects of siddhi are there. I'll give you a few aspects so that the picture of what the spiritual goal is, this picture of these deeper principles becomes very clear to you. First of all, siddhi means prosperity, abundance. See, he is deliberately using the word siddhi when it comes to sannyas, because the mind understands sannyas in a negative way. So he is defining it in the positive way. We can define it in a negative way also. We can say sannyas is giving up of negativity, is giving up of ego. That is what has already been explained to you. Now, by using the word siddhi, we get the other side of it. So, first of all, siddhi means prosperity or abundance. So, spirituality is not against wealth. You should, as a sadhak, you should, as your energy pattern changes, you should master that art of attracting abundance into your life. That is one very important aspect of one's life. So that is number one, prosperity or abundance. Number two, siddhi means accomplishment, success. So one is you attract abundance. The other is success in whatever you do. That is, success means accomplishment of your goals, You fix goals and then achieve them. That is called success. So, siddhi on one hand means abundance, wealth. On the other hand, it also means accomplishment or success. These are all aspects of perfection. See, here he is using the word siddhim to mean perfection. But these are all included. These are all the different dimensions of the word siddhi. This is what is spirituality. It may be totally different from whatever concept you may be having today. But this is what the truth is. The third aspect of siddhi means welfare. That is positive experiences. See, supposing you have a lot of wealth, but your individual experiences are very negative, then the quality of your life will not be good, So that is why Siddhi means welfare, positive experiences, choosing positive experiences in life. As you grow spiritually, your inner powers will increase and you will be able to convert all your experiences into positive experiences. That is Siddhi. Then the fourth aspect of Siddhi, Siddhi means completion of your experiences. That's what I told you. Without completing your experiences, your renunciation will not be complete. So living your life fully and completing all your experiences is an essential aspect of Siddhi. Completing your experiences means not having hang-ups. See, today your mind is full of incompleteness, hang-ups. Right from, let us take only this birth. Right from childhood days, so many experiences you have gone through. All those are incomplete and they are there in your mind. You have not outgrown them. Somebody may have insulted you 10 years back. You are still carrying it in your mind. You have not finished that experience. So, when you have not completed your experiences, now if you try to get the highest empowerment, as your consciousness is rising, these factors will again pull your consciousness down. That is why Siddhi means completion, completing all your experiences. And then Siddhi also means complete attainment of something. On one hand, we said Siddhi means accomplishment and completing all experiences. This dimension of Siddhi is very easy, very interesting. Complete attainment of something. See, a spiritual person gathers so much of power because he or she learns to focus, to concentrate, to meditate. The mind will become very sharp. Now, when the mind becomes very sharp, your capacity to understand something fully will increase. The quality of your experiences will increase. There will be no compromise. If you get something, you will get it fully. If you do something, you will do it in a complete way. That is what is meant by complete attainment. No compromise. So a yogi is never, unsure. Either he wants something or he doesn't want something. If he doesn't want something, he will not want it fully. If he wants something, he will want it fully and get it. Life is very simple for a yogi. It is only people who are in between, they get very confused. They keep talking high philosophy, they lead a very unfulfilled life. So as a sadhak, you should never be unsure. Be very, very sure, this is what I want, and a complete attainment of that. Of course, you should put in all the efforts. That is what Karma Yoga is all about. Without karma, you cannot get anything in life. Without paying the price, simply wanting all the comforts and all that will not work. For example, one youngster has written to me. He has just now got married. Now he says my expenses have doubled. So because we want to lead a very luxurious life, so we are unable to save and all that. So see, he has quoted one of the statements which I had made earlier. We should always think big. So we are thinking big. We want to buy this. We want to buy that. That is how he has put. Now, there is a small catch there. When it was said, think big, what is this? This is a message for all the youngsters. Whether you're young or whether you're an adult, it does not matter. This is a message for everyone, I would say. When it was said that think big, what was meant was think big in terms of savings, not in terms of expenditure. This boy who has written this mail has completely misunderstood what has been said. Thinking big now doesn't mean you go and waste all your money. No, you should respect money. In our culture, we worship money, no? As goddess Lakshmi. You should not be a spendthrift. Keep your desires under your income. If you are earning 100 rupees, means your desires must be only to 50 rupees. If you are earning 1000 rupees, means you can keep your desires to 500 rupees. The problem which you are facing, there is a direct message to that boy who has written. The problem which you are facing is because you are pitching up desires way above your income. Now that is a very dangerous thing, because it will not help you to, first of all, you will not be happy with whatever you are having. And number two, this is called greed actually. That greed will force you to try and take shortcuts in life. You will start going for this investment and that investment where the risk is very high, and it will almost become like gambling. So that is not Siddhi. When he says complete attainment, means in a structured way, proper way. When we talk of prosperity, accomplishment and all that, it is in a proper way with hard work, having paid the price, we should achieve all this. Even though I am slightly moving away from this context, this is a very important message which I am giving to all the sadhaks. Keep your desires well under your control. Never desire for something beyond your income. If you want to achieve something in the future, first see how to increase the income. Without that, just to pitch up very, very costly, attaining objects which are very costly for you, and then going through the stresses of no use. So both ways. See, that this is the secret of attracting abundance. Probably, let's see, when the time comes, we will take up, I'll take up an empowerment course on how to attract abundance. That will be very useful for everyone. Because attracting abundance doesn't mean now you get completely lost in the worldly life, and it's not for that. It is for completing the experiences and moving up spiritually. So remember, each one is at a particular financial level. Not everyone will be at the same level. So according to your level, you keep your desires, you keep your enjoyments. You keep your luxuries also, small portion. If you can buy a car today, it's better to go in a two-wheeler. You will be very comfortable. If you can buy 2 cars, then you buy 1 car. When I say buy, see, the problem is the people don't understand what is buying, what is owning and all that. Person says, this is my house. 75% or 90% loan he has taken. Then how is that house yours? Till you finish the loan, it is not yours. The mind gets into an illusion. So in order to fulfill that greed, now so many methods have come. People are offering all kinds of loans. All this is actually, they play on the weakness of your mind. You have to be very careful. Our ancients wisdom with respect to finance and wealth is very solid and sound. We'll see whether that can be taken as a separate empowerment course, wherein all the rules and related to how to handle finance, how to multiply the wealth, how to attract abundance, and at the same time grow spiritually. So they have covered it so beautifully, our great masters, The principle which I am giving you is one small principle from that wisdom. So complete attainment is by proper effort. So you should not become a spendthrift in the name of thinking big and all that. So think big in terms of savings. This is a direct message to that boy who has sent that mail. Think big in terms of savings, in terms of acquiring assets, not in terms of expenditure. When it comes to expenditure, think small. Within no time, you will become rich. Today, the trend has become reverse. When it comes to expenditure, people think very big. When it comes to savings, they think very small. In the long run, your financial situation will be very poor. You will face a lot of financial difficulty. I hope that the boy has got the message, and all other sadhaks also, please make a note of that. So, Siddhi means prosperity, it means accomplishment, it means welfare, positive experiences, completion of experiences, and complete attainment of something. Means either you are in it or you are out of it. You are never in the middle. You are not unsure. You don't do anything half-heartedly. That's what it means, complete attainment. And then the sixth aspect of Siddhi. Siddhi means the powers of the mind. They say the Ashta Siddhis and all that. Actually, it's not Ashta, there are so many powers of the mind. The power to materialize. See, the other powers, what they call as a supernatural powers, actually is not required for you to lead your life. That is why the great yogis said, don't go after those powers. Because you will just simply get attracted and you may lose sight of your ultimate goal. But it is a fact that as you advance spiritually, these siddhis come to you automatically. What you may call as supernatural powers, So a yogi doesn't go looking after, he doesn't go after these powers. He only goes after the highest goal. But these powers automatically come at a particular stage of sadhana. Some masters have exhibited that, some masters have not exhibited. They don't have any value for that. Anybody who exhibits his powers unnecessarily, who makes a show of that, it means he has got stuck at that level. That is why you should be careful about that aspect. You have to see, when it comes to Siddhi, I have given you now 6, I'll give you one more also, then it will complete the picture, and then I'll give you one important principle. The seventh aspect of Siddhi is perfection, which is what we have put here. In the translation, we have put as perfection. Perfection means self-realization, God-realization, enlightenment. That is called the Ananta Siddhi, the Siddhi of the infinite, the power of the infinite. Now, why has Siddhi been clubbed with the word sannyas? It's very, very interesting. On one hand, you have such negative concepts of sannyas. So the word Siddhi, the word Siddhi, when it is used to talk about perfection, will now completely remove all the misconceptions. On the other hand, true spirituality will give you all this. When you start doing your sadhana properly, you will start attracting more wealth. you will become more successful. Your experiences will become positive. You will start completing your experiences. You will not compromise on things. The inner powers of the mind will start getting awakened. All these things will start happening. At that time, what is very important is sannyas, detachment. Because if you get attached to all these things, now the final siddhi, which is that of perfection, cannot be attained. So true sannyas will give you that final perfection. False sannyas will not give, false renunciation, that's what he's saying here. So see the genius of our masters. They've used the word sannyas and then they have put the word siddhi so that they complement, they balance each other. On one hand, you will go on attaining the siddhis. It's a variety of things, starting from the lowest in the world to the highest infinite. But in every area, you should be detached. So as you do your sadhana and you become more and more successful in life, you will get a lot of things actually. In terms of wealth and name, fame, everything will come. But you should remain untouched. Your goal is not all these things. It is Ananta Siddhi, which is perfection. So false renunciation will not help you. But true renunciation will give you that infinite Siddhi. So when you add this word Siddhi to sannyas, now that gives it more power. And it is not only siddhi, he also gives one, he says samadhi gacchati, sam adhigamanam. Sam is a prefix. It means intensifying the meaning of something. That is sam. Adhigamanam, adhigacchati is the verb. Adhigamanam actually means obtaining. We have put it as obtain, but it has a few more dimensions which will be useful here. Now when we talk of sannyas, when we talk of siddhi and all this, now your question will be, sir, how do I get all that? So that is where the word adhigamanam is very useful. Adhigamanam means obtaining. How do you obtain? Adhigamanam means studying, gaining knowledge. And then it also means mastery. So samadhigamanam means study of oneself, study of this higher wisdom, number one. And number two, gaining knowledge of the higher. And number three, mastery. Practicing all these principles till you get mastery over that. These three steps if you follow, now the sannyas is easily obtained by you. The siddhi is also easily obtained by you. So in that word samadhi gamanam, samadhi gacchati, again these secret principles are embedded. So using the yogic approach, we can eke out those principles and start applying. So in life, if you want to achieve anything, what should you do? Simple. Study, knowledge and mastery. Study means you should put in enough effort to understand that and gain full knowledge about it, and then practice it till you master it. Very, very simple formula, but most people don't do it. You always get into things without full understanding. And when you don't have full understanding, you get only partial success, or sometimes people don't succeed also. I know many people who get into business without understanding the subtleties of business. They think, why should I work for another person? Let me do things on my own. That is a good thought if you are well equipped with the knowledge, if you have mastered that skill. It is better to work under someone, learn the tricks of the trade and then start something on your own. Then there are better chances of you being successful. So study, knowledge and mastery is the simple formula to obtain anything in life. When it comes to spirituality also it's the same thing. You study about these higher principles, you gain knowledge, full knowledge and understanding, and then you practice them in your life to obtain self-mastery. So the study is about yourself, the knowledge is about yourself, and you obtain and you get self-mastery. And when you gain self-mastery, you will automatically be able to get into the state of sannyas, detachment. And when you get into the state of detachment, you will obtain siddhi. Here siddhi means the ananta siddhi, the infinite wealth. So as I told you, siddhi means starting from the lowest wealth to the highest wealth. Everything is siddhi only. So in spirituality, as you advance, you will go through all these experiences. That is why I started today's discourse by saying spirituality is not against life. It helps you to live a full life and outgrow and move to the next higher level. Every level you should experience, outgrow, move up. Again experience, outgrow, move up till you reach the infinite. So that is why a true spiritual person will be non-judgmental about others. He will not say, oh, you are worldly, you are this, you are that. He will not say that. He will understand, oh, if you want, depending on what you are wanting, he will understand that is your level. So he will help you to complete those experiences and move up to the next level. Through this process of adhigamanam and sannyasa, he will help you to attain siddhi and move to the next level. And as you keep outgrowing and keep progressing, a time would come where you will feel a sense of fullness with respect to anything which the world has to offer. All these wealths are placed before you, starting from material wealth to positive experiences to success. Everything is kept before you, but you are not interested in all of them. Truly you have outgrown them, and that is when you close your eyes and with full focus you hit the infinite. With full focus is the key there. Today when you say, I want God realization, that is not a full, that doesn't have a full force. Your energies are divided. You want this, you want that, you want so many things. So our masters were very practical. Okay, you want all these things. Now complete your experiences. And as you begin to complete, now your energies will start converging. And a time would come where you will say 100%, fully you will say, I want God. And at that second, you will get enlightened. Ananyas Chinta, says Krishna in the 9th chapter. Ananyas Chinta means without any other thought, thinking about God, thinking about the infinite, focusing all your energies on that. That is how you can obtain the Ananta Siddhi. So you cannot, act beyond your capacity or level. You cannot force these things. That is why this word Siddhi is so beautifully put here, because it covers right from the lowest to the highest, all the experiences. So depending upon whatever your level is, you can apply this wisdom and start moving up. That is the right way of progressing spiritually. So, nor by renunciation, false renunciation, does one obtain perfection. So, true renunciation will give you the highest experience. But how do you get into that state of true renunciation? It is by adhigamanam, samadhigamanam. By study of oneself, gaining knowledge of yourself. When we say knowledge, experiential knowledge, inner knowledge of yourself, and then practicing these higher principles in life and gaining complete mastery over yourself. Today, your own mind is not under your control. It does not listen to you. You are a slave to your mind. That is a state of weakness. And in that state of weakness, how can you attain the Ananta Siddhi, the highest experience? First, you need to make yourself strong. That is where the sannyas can help you. And how do you get that? The Samadhi Gamanam will help you. See how logically he has combined three words: sannyas, Samadhi Gamanam, and Siddhim. So if you now see these three principles together, the effect is something totally different. See, very interesting. Supposing the Yoga Sankirtan is there. Now, you have the main song separately, let us say. Three materials are given. One is a main song. The other is the tabla separately, instrument. Third is the veena or flute, whatever has been used. That is given to you separately. Now you listen to them separately. That gives you a very, very partial effect. But when all three are combined and then when you listen, which is what is that Yoga Sankirtan audio material, now that effect becomes tremendous. It's the same thing. Sannyas, Siddhim, this will lead to that. What will help? Samadhi Gamanam. That is the sadhana. So as a sadhak, now, you reflect on these principles and see how you can apply them in your life. Today, a lot of things have been given to you. So if you want, you see this several times and note down all these points. And what is important is just reflect. How do I now apply it in my life? Even the different aspects of Siddhi. Now, let me now become better in all these aspects. Keep them as your relative goals and start off the process. Okay, so we will stop with that because so much has been given to you. You should reflect and come back. Only then we should proceed further. Otherwise, the absorption, will become an issue. So next week, we will go further. We will continue in this wonderful journey of Karma Yoga. See, the more depth we get into, the more the enjoyment, the more powerful will our lives become. Okay, so before we do the meditation, I will take up one question which has come. This question has been asked by Srinivas. Hari Om sir, Namaste. This is a very long mail which he has sent. I'm not reading all the things. Whatever his experiences are, everything he has given, like thank you very much for the infinite happiness empowerment. What are the various benefits he has received, all that he has mentioned. And then the question. Before I even read the question, this is a small request to, not to him alone, but to all the sadhaks. See, when you send your questions, always put your questions as a separate mail. When you want to send your experiences, put them as a separate mail. Send 2 different mails so that it will be easy for me to address your questions. Otherwise, see, this is such a long mail and literally we have to search for the question. It is easy for me to understand the Bhagavad Gita and Upanishads, but I have to do so much of research and to get a PhD to just locate your question, So that is not the way it should be done. So practice this. See, keep your question very crisp and clear, simple. All this will help you to build your clarity. This is a message for all the sadhaks. Wherever you are a little confused, try to bring in clarity by making your questions or defining your problems in a crisp and clear way. That will help you. So even this question is running into paragraphs, so I'll have to summarize and give the question. See, another important thing is, see, when you are wanting something, you should not make it difficult for the other person to even understand what you're wanting. Here, I will anyway do it for you. That is a different matter. But you should put that effort to become very, very simple and clear about what you want. Then it's very easy for you to get it. So basically, the question which you asked is, how do we differentiate between responsibility and burden? Because this point was given out in the Infinite Happiness course, that you should take up more responsibilities, but it should not become a burden on you. Actually, a special sadhana has been given. The sadhana material also has been given. Lagima dhyana has been given to all the empowered sadhaks, which you will be doing periodically. So, the question is related to that. How do we differentiate between responsibility and burden? Now, a very interesting thing he has asked is today when I was doing that particular Lagima Dhyana, a question came up in my mind about the family responsibilities. All the family responsibilities shedding off to my wife, which eventually overburdened her. In fact, that is the same feedback that she gave me since, since some time. So, and then you explained, how both are working and the family things are there. Now, the rest of it is all explanations of this. That's what I'm saying. See, you should keep your question very precise and clear. That will give you clarity. Just don't write everything which comes to your mind and simply send it. Then what is your effort? Read it once. Take out the main point and ask your question in a very simple way. So your basic question is responsibility versus burden. How do we differentiate this? One very important thing is, when it was suggested in the Infinite Happiness course, when the empowerment was given, the drop off all the burden from the mind, and that sadhana was also taught to you. That doesn't mean now, see, dropping off your burden doesn't mean you offload it on somebody else now. It could be your wife, it could be anybody, We say remove all your stress, drop all your stress. Doesn't mean now you transfer all your stress to your family members now. That is not sannyas, So what is primarily the difference between responsibility and burden? Responsibility is taking up external things according to your roles. If you have a family, you have certain external responsibilities. At the external level first. At the inner level, responsibility means being mature and dependable. See, like when you give a work to someone, if he is responsible, we know for sure, we can count on that person, he will do it. That is the inner responsibility. So, primarily responsibilities means taking up your duties in life. There is no question of burden and all that. Whether it is a burden or not, you have to do your responsibility, you have to do your duties. You have to be responsible in life. Now, when we talk of don't overburden your mind, especially in the Infinite Happiness course, several sessions were spent on removing the burdens, various burdens from the mind. Those meditations were done, Now, that is aimed at relaxing the mind, not the dropping off the external responsibilities. So you are confusing between the external responsibilities and the inner condition of your mind. They are two different things altogether. So how do I know whether something is a responsibility or a burden? First of all, is it your duty? Now you have a family, you have a child, let us say. Now you have certain duties towards your child. Now if you say that is causing a lot of burden to me, the solution is not in stopping off doing those duties. The solution is in practicing those principles which were given in that empowerment course to remove the inner burden, the burden felt by the mind, the stress. So you define your responsibilities and duties according to the various roles which you are playing in life. You've also given another example about office, where I assume responsibility on many or all things that come the way for the team. And I, being a senior member in the team, I take it up. I need to learn to assign tasks to junior members. So I would like to learn the art of controlling the work pressure so I can balance my work and personal life. This is what you mentioned. So when it comes to work, again you need to define your roles very clearly. For example, let us say a salesman is there, a salesperson. Now he or she will, how will you define the duties of a salesperson? That person has to sell, let us say 100 products. The target you give, this is what X is a target. So that becomes the duties. That will be based on that, the duties will be defined. But when the same salesperson is now promoted to the next level, he becomes a sales manager. It is not about going and selling the products now. It is about making the sales people under him sell the products. That becomes his duty. This is called delegation of work. So you need to define your role in office and accordingly delegate certain things to your team. Your role may be to coordinate and get things done. So all this clarity when you get, then you will be able to clearly fix the responsibility. Otherwise, you may end up doing things which are actually not your duties at all. And then you will not have time for the real things which you need to do. So be very clear. Determine what your roles are. According to that, fix your responsibilities and duties. And do them to perfection. As far as we are concerned, we are doing the sadhana not to stop the responsibilities, but to not allow the responsibilities to become a burden in our minds. As simple as that. Okay, so now we'll do the meditation. Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. With every breath, I am becoming more and more relaxed. Feel the divine vibrations. With every breath, I am going deeper and deeper into myself. Beyond this physical body, beyond these various emotions and thoughts, lies my essential supreme self. I am one with that infinite supreme being. My ultimate goal in life is to attain Ananta Siddhi, the state of infinite perfection. I am Swayam Prakashit, self-illuminating. From this moment onwards, I choose to gain the knowledge of the higher principles and attain self-mastery through practice. I am Swayam Prakashit, self-illuminating. Offer your gratitude to God Supreme. Offer your gratitude to your Guru and all the holy masters. Slowly come back. Wriggle your fingers, your toes, rub your palms together to create a warmth. Cup your eyes with your palms. Gently rub your eyes, cheeks, forehead, top of the head, back of the head and neck. Slowly open your eyes. Welcome back. So it's been a very powerful session today. A lot of points have been given. These are all fundamental principles, but even though I'm calling them as fundamental, they are applicable right till the highest level. From the start till the end, these principles are applicable. So think about whatever was told today, reflect, keep churning them in your mind till you absorb the energy behind these principles. In the next session, we will proceed further. More and more interesting and deep things will be revealed as we go along. Okay, so thank you very much. Hari Om.